when we go to a party, we are afraid of judging or to be judged. And we are not enjoying like we enjoyed before in 2009. We make things just to do it, not to feel it. I don't know why people change in that way. Because of
I,
Instagram or maybe of Facebook.
that's what I was saying. Is that because you think that's because of social media?
Yes, I think so. Because everyone wants to be perfect, but perfect doesn't exist. So I think the perfect will be to be yourself and to be happy, to find your own happiness and your own energy. Okay.
Hey, all right. So I am now on the line with a Miss Jojo Moldovan, who is a dancer, an international teacher, a performer, and a choreographer currently living in Romania. Is that correct?
Yes, is that correct?
Hey,
Hi.
hey. So if I'm not mistaken, you started dancing salsa, bachata, rueda, or casino back in 2009.
Yes, back in 2009.
You started dancing Kizomba back in 2010, and you started teaching Kizomba in 2012. Is that proper?
Yes, that's true.
Hey,
Yes.
amazing, amazing. How are you doing today, Miss Jojo?
Really good, but still with this situation a bit tricky. But we hope for the best. We
Of
pray.
course, of course, of course, of course. So I think a great way to start out this interview, I would absolutely love to hear. Were you born in Romania? Born and raised?
Yes, 100% Romanian.
Okay, okay, okay.
Almost. Because
So,
my
so
parents are from, not actually my parents, my grandparents have Alemanian roots.
okay, okay, okay.
They're Romanian.
So tell me this thing. I have never had a chance to visit Romania, so I would ask, what was your childhood like growing up in Romania?
Romania before was a communist country. I don't know if you know heard about Ceausescu.
I have
We
not.
have we have a history like everybody was like this, and then after 19 they come to open-minded to be a bit open-minded. So for me, I grew up with my parents that I are was in the army, so I have to follow the rules, and it was a bit tricky because artists are sometimes different. And from young, I was studying music. I wanted to study music. I studied like 12 years of high school of music. So after I finished, my parents was pushing me follow the law. So I have to pick follow a route that are with similar with army, with the police, with I don't know notary. So I have to study law. So for 4 years I studied law, and then I started dancing because when you're studying law you're sitting a lot down, and you're forced to work in an office. So I needed to do some moves to move on, to lose some pounds and stuff like that. So I started dancing in 2009. But it was hard for me to change from the music to the law, and then to the law to the salsa scene. It was hard but beautiful in the same time. I had to work like for the whole 4 years that I was studying. Actually, I have 10 years in the notary, like a legal advisor. And I was doing the same time salsa. Like in the same time, I was teaching, traveling, working. everything. I was sleeping like 3 hours a day. That was it. So this was my whole from childhood to now, to say like that.
Okay, okay. So, so yeah, so I guess you were kind of destined to become somewhat of a lawyer, and then you decided to start dancing. I'm curious, was or has dancing always been like a love of yours, or something that you wanted to get into?
Yes and no. Actually, I have some videos when I was 4 years, and my dance was weird. Like
Yeah.
I was doing my leg up, my leg down, the split. I was doing like not normal dancing, more like gymnast dance.
Mm.
And actually, I have 1 year of gymnast at 5 years old. After that video, my parents say, "Okay, she's weird. She needs to do something." So yes, I have 1 year of gymnast. But when you do music, it's more easier to understand like a dancer after. So for me, like 12 years of music was the best thing that I can use in salsa or in kizomba or in dancing. I can use music in many ways. I can create dance steps even if the music says one thing, I can do another thing. I can play more.
Okay. Yeah, I understand that. I'm curious to hear from you. I've never been to Romania, so I'm curious. What is the dancing scene like in Romania?
Okay, so we are really good dancers, and I think people know ours like the most warm people that knows to dance good. Like everywhere we go, people knows us like good dancers, good people, and party people. So if you've never been to Romania, I recommend you. We have a festival, like in the school that I teach, in Bailarte Dance School. We have a like fourth festival, but the best one in salsa, it's Transylvania Salsa Festival. It's one of the best in Europe. It's like with Dracula and stuff. And actually, 2 weeks ago was supposed to be our festival, like 11 edition. But unfortunately, we couldn't make it, to say like that, because the situation with COVID stops. We couldn't work. Yeah. And also we have a Cluj Kizomba festival that it's in April, uh, and it's like a story. I don't know. Everything we do in Romania, we put a story. We like stories, movies, and to make the actor part in the festivals. Like I don't know, if you go to a festival, you like to make people to feel it that part of the area, And we live in Transylvania, and Transylvania has Dracula, so it's perfect.
Let me ask you this. I'm very curious to hear. Um, in your opinion, what do you think is the most popular style of dance in?
Well, I think it's still salsa, but we we liked a lot to. I don't know how to say this. In my opinion, salsa is the biggest community. In that community, you have bachata and kizomba and zouk. Okay, it's more sensual and it's more famous on YouTube or channels, but on if you make a festival of salsa, you have people than in bachata or kizomba. In my opinion, even it's more sensual bachata and kizomba. I don't think all the people just go to bachata and kizomba only for because it's sensual. They also need salsa in their life just because it's more happier and relaxer. And you don't need to connect all the time with people because sometimes when you connect too much, you have a lot of energy that is not you. Make sense?
I think so. I think that makes sense. I think that definitely makes. I wanna. I'm curious about this. Let me ask you this. You kind of already spoke on it, but tell me this. How has the dancing scene in Romania, how has it changed from when you first began back in 2009? How has it changed between 2009 and now, 2020?
Before, salsa was the biggest thing ever. You will have like 2 or 3 bachata songs in a party. That was like, oh my god, it's bachata. And we have also merengue. Now I don't know why we don't dance merengue anymore. But I think people enjoyed more. They didn't think about what people say and could be themselves and enjoy every step of it. In my opinion, the evolution is good. The evolution is good, but I will change the way we think when we go to learn any style of dancing and the way we act when we go to a party. We are afraid of judging or to be judged, and we are not enjoying like we enjoyed before in 2009. We make things just to do it, not to feel it. I don't know why people change in that way. Because of
I,
Instagram or maybe of Facebook.
that's what I was saying. Is that because you think that's because of social media?
Yes, I think so. Because everyone wants to be perfect, but perfect doesn't exist. So I think the perfect will be to be yourself and to be happy, to find your own happiness and your own energy. But I will change 2 things that increase it. The way people, in the evolution, you have to accept the roots, you have to accept what's coming, and the product of the end. So we started with salsa, then we start bachata, and people from salsa was saying bad words about bachata, and then after came kizomba, and then salsa and bachata was talking bad about kizomba. So that's what I want to change. Not talking bad about anything, just enjoy the evolution of each style of dancing. No matter if it's a classic one, a fusion one, an urban one, just enjoy. We talk about steps, we talk about styles, and we don't enjoy anything. So, what's the point? No? So, we start dancing more for fun. Maybe after this pandemic situation, they will find their happiness and they will start dance like they don't care, like they really don't care about anything. So, it's a good way to relax. I hope.
I want to ask you this real quick. I'm very curious. Who were, I guess, who were some of the pioneers to bring salsa and bachata to Romania? Do you know who that was?
Yeah. In Cluj, in my city, was Lucian Ambrosie from Salsa Caliente. In Bucharest, I don't know. Don't kill me. But I know in Brașov was Salsa Picante or something. Yes, Salsa Picante with Julian and Eva. They have a festival, national salsa Romanian. It's a Romanian festival. 100% Romanian artists, Romanian workshop. That's the longest festival in Romania. Yep. So I think they were the first, and then Galaxy in Bucharest, and then Cluj with Caliente. Those three cities in salsa. In bachata, I think it's the same teachers, because when you teach salsa and bachata, not only bachata. Now it's a bachata fusion and a bachata urban or bachata sensual. That's something else. But in before salsa was half an hour, bachata half an hour in one class. So they were together. And Kizomba in Romania, in Cluj, I was in 2010 with an artist from France, Don Jose. And I guess in Brasov also Fabrizio Duzangardo came for classes. This is how we start. So actually, I'm from with the first person that bring Kizomba in Romania.
Okay. And so let me ask you this then. I'm very curious to hear from you because you started salsa and kizomba about the same time. Tell me, uh, or can you tell me, which one is your favorite? Do you have a favorite dance style?
I think they will kill me if I say who's my
Uh,
favorite. Each style is a favorite in some way. For me, Kizomba is for connection is the best thing. I'm not talking about fusion or urban. I'm talking about real Kizomba. Uh, it's simple. You can connect with the person. You can feel it. You can give good energy. You can receive good energy. So that's perfect. But if you have a lot of energy that you want to let it out, salsa. I love on two. I love with on two like the highest. And I think the last place will be bachata, but not in a bad way. I will say you have both. You have energy and you have connection in bachata. So you have a bit of both. But like I'm an extreme person that I like to be 100% wild, 100% single, to say like that, to be in a corner. For me, it's salsa and kizomba. So that's my first two.
of course, of course, of course. Tell me this, then I would love to hear from you. Tell me about your beginner stage. So two questions. Tell me about your beginner stage in salsa, and then tell me about your beginner stage in kizomba. What was that like for you? What was that experience like?
When you start dancing, you think you already know how that style should look like. And when I started salsa, I was dancing with like a ballroom dancer, like moving my hips all the way. But was funny because I was making videos to correct myself. So I saw the evolution, like from wild salsa to a bit clean salsa. And actually, I travel a lot uh, to learn salsa from the best persons, like I don't know, editores, Tropical Jam, uh, from all, from all. I have a lot of classes, so each time I was thinking, oh, it's okay, like I learned enough. No, I was going to another workshop and I said, "Oh, that one I don't know. I didn't know about religion. I didn't know about that." So, I made it clear like I want to learn first steps and then I want to learn history. Why I'm doing those steps? Because I didn't you learn to walk, but if you don't put your personality, it's like a simple walk. So the same was for me learning salsa. I was learning the steps and then I tried to understand each step I was doing. Why am I doing that? To make a sense, to make a dynamic, to understand the technique. Because at, I don't know, 12 years ago or 11 years ago, not too many people were talking in masterclass about technique. Now, in the last 4 years, yes, you can find videos about technique, but before you couldn't. So you put the technique that you find it in other styles, from ballet, for example, that you are making Latino, then how you step, how you move, how you make your body, where you put your body. So for me, it was like, oh, multitasking. But was a beautiful journey, journey, and I think I will do it again. Like going from my first basic and seeing like how I arrive where I'm like right now. But I can't stop here. I will still going and learning because that's supposed to be the best way to increase yourself. Always learn new style, old style, doesn't matter, but keep learning. So was the salsa. In Kizomba, actually, I was loving, I don't know, Zouk Brazilian, that is with head movement and
Brazilian Zouk,
was
definitely.
more, yes, was more like show off because I was seeing like that. So I had a friend that we were dancing together. And then came this guy, Don Jose, that I started doing that class. Hey, you have a big butt, so let's go to the Kizomba room. And I was like, I don't like Kizomba. No, but you should learn it because your body is perfect for Kizomba. And I was thinking, why my body? Okay. And then I started learning the moves and tried to understand the way he was teaching me, but for me was not enough. So in that period, I was a big fan of Albir Rojas and Sara Lopez. Back in 2010 was the most famous couple in Kizomba, and I was searching for them, and I found a festival in Stuttgart, and we went with my partner in that period. We went to Stuttgart to learn from them, and I found that they are not only good teachers, they were also good people. Actually, it was the moment that we connected more with Albir, and we are still friends. So he was my first guy that um, how to say it? He inspired me like that. Because the way he was talking about musicality, connection, kizomba, and everything just make you fell in love with kizomba. And then I start researching about history and try to understand what is fusion, what is urban, what is tarashinha, what is tarasho, all this stuff in kizomba. But that was a point, that like a boom in my life. And then I started traveling, of course. And in like 3 years after actually, we had a friend from France, Melka, it's his name, and he asked me if I can do a team to go to his festival. And I said, okay, I have only one partner, but let me think if I have somebody to go with. So in the school that we teach, we have the owner of the school. It's Cotiso, and his wife Andrada. So we decided to make like GSDC Bailarte, and that's the way we start traveling outside, like in France, for example. That was a big thing, and actually it was funny in that festival. Nobody knows that, like Romania are dancing kizomba. That was what like that. So we have a show, like it was really famous, like Urban Kids show. We didn't know that it's Urban Kids in that period because it was just making his way the name of Urban Keys. And in that show, we have like Isabel and Felicien, Albira and Carola, Curtis with Macarena, a lot of artists. And the funny part was we had a rehearsal. We went on stage. You know, artists are talking when they are rehearsing, and I don't know, they are doing their stuff. And the moment we start dancing, made quiet in the room, and all the artists was like, what they are doing, and for us was bigger than the show to say like that. To stop the artists to look at us was a big thing. And we should be the third show in that night. And actually Khalid, a photographer, he was making fun of us and saying, you know, you're not number 3, you're number 5 now. And he went and he came back, you're not number 5, you're number 6 now. And then in the end, he said that we are almost the last number. And I was like, oh my God, there are more famous guys and they are before us? Why? We are not so good. And the pressure was like big. And we met like LG in that night, Mika Mendes, um, Safi, like singers, Nicole. uh, was a lot to process. And then we went to stage, and it was funny because in the recorder of the video, people will start laughing at first. Oh, some friends from Romania, they have a show. Ha 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 ha. When we start dancing, everybody was like, oh my God, what they are doing, and start clapping, cheering, and was like, I don't know. That was the best period of my life, to say like that, when you are noticed from nothing.
That's
Only for your
amazing.
work. Yeah, so
That's
that was the point. And then we start traveling and having class around in other festival in Spain, in Hungary. Yeah, so but that was the biggest dream, to say like I made it.
let me let me ask you this. So you've been dancing for almost 10, 11 years now. I'm very
Yeah.
curious to hear from you. What are some lessons that you've learned from dancing that you're able to use in your everyday life?
Working with people is challenging in the same time. uh, I will say, don't, like, from my part, like I teach, I was at the first I was saying that I own the teacher, I own the students. uh, I have that in mind. I don't know why, because I'm in a school, they are my students, they are my thing. That's wrong. You can own anyone in life. So you just inspire them for 1 hour and you go. You need to give the way you appear in front of the people. You should know that your personal stuff you cannot say to your students. Uh, you should give them energy to make them feel better after your class, because you need to inspire people, and in the same time they will inspire other people. So you you need to be careful of what you're saying and when you're saying, because it's not your fault if one student can interpret that part of your what you said in a wrong way because his energy is low. So you need to be careful the way you express yourself with people in the room, and try to not make it personal. This is another thing, because when you do what you love, you put more soul, and you got more depressed if it's not going good. So you need to be detached. I'm saying good. So you need to disconnect about that, but you still need to share a good thing to them. This
Those are
is,
super important.
yeah.
Super important, definitely. I definitely can understand and relate to all of those things. Um, so let me ask you this then real quick. Um, I want to maybe get into some advice for dancers, all right?
Yeah.
So so for someone who is a beginner and they feel like they're in this rut, like they're not getting better, what advice could you give that person?
Oh, they should make a video of themselves and to make a list with 10 good things about them,
I like it.
not bad things. We are usually criticizing our moves more than anybody. If you ask a friend of yourself when you're dancing, they will say, "Oh, you're awesome, you're really good." But you should do that with yourself. Stop. You cannot be stuck in something. It's about you want to do more or you don't. So don't say bad things just to not do it. It's a way to, um, how to say, to make you stop doing that. Or you need to find your good energy to increase yourself. Like for me it's easier. Say 10 things about you that are good, not bad, and that's it. And you will find a way back to your dancing. And if you are stuck in salsa because of the dance teacher, is wrong. You can find anything anywhere if you want to learn. You have online classes from the best teachers in the world online. So if you want, just click it, relax. You don't need to do the class, you just need to hear it. So it's another way to relax and to improve yourself. Motivate yourself, I should say it like that. If you don't want to do it, you're not doing it.
Let me ask you this. Someone who is
Can you come closer because I don't hear you?
sorry, I apologize. Someone who is an intermediate dancer and they want to become an advanced dancer, what does it take for that person?
Clean your steps, I will say. Try to do the same basic thing, like the basic, the turns. Each style have a turn, no matter. Try to do basic, but think how you step on it. Put your clean your technique and try watching people that are already good and see what you have and you don't have in that video, because when you dance you need to not have the bounce. You have to keep the line clean even if you're going up or down. You have to make it from your needs. So I would say the technique is really important if you want to be an advanced dancer. And play with the basics. Play with the basic is the rule, the most famous rule.
Like it, I like it. Play with the basics. I like that. Let me ask you this. Can you tell me, or well, actually, let me say it like this. When I say the word musicality, what does that mean to you?
Oh, because I'm a musician, to say like that is no rule. The rule is to, music has instruments. Be an instrument that is not already on the music. That's my biggest musicality. Like the song, it's already has a trumpet. If you're putting that trumpet, maybe you will find somebody who will like because you interpreted the trumpet or you interpreted the piano or the voice. But try to feel that song and what she wants to say with that song. Like if it's a sad song, it's a happy song, it's a passionate one, it's a, I don't know, angry one, you have to put that attitude. It's like playing a role. And the musicality that you use, if you want to be the best, be another instrument that the song has doesn't have it. This is my kind of musicality. But you can still mix it all to catch the accents, the biggest accent from the song.
So let me ask you a follow up to that question then. How does one improve their musicality?
You have to listen one song, only one song for more days. And then you should try to do at least 5 styles on that song. 5 different ways to catch another, like you catch the piano, only the piano for one time. The second time you try to catch only the trumpet. Then you try to catch only the voice. Then you try to catch only the beat. And then you try to do all that. And then you try to break it. and then actually it's like one teacher told me, like the lady, the owner of my the school, Carolina, said to me that makes me think all the time, like learn the rules, play with the rules, and then break the rules. But if you are not doing the first two, don't do the third one.
Now I understand that. I definitely understand that. Um, let me ask you this last and final question. Can you give me one tip that can make anyone a better dancer immediately?
First, count.
Okay.
If you count, if you're not a dancer, for example, you don't know how to dance, you don't know how to move, you don't know anything. You need to count. On one, you raise your hand, on two, you lift it down. And then you do that on the beat. One, two, for example. And this is dance. So I'm
Yeah.
dancing. So you need to count. You need to know where your body is on each time. And then you can relax. Make sense?
It definitely does. That's something that I've always. I guess when I was back when I was beginner, that's something that I was always told to do. Was count out your steps to stay on beat, to learn the beat and everything. So I've always heard that count out your
Yeah.
steps. So that's super beneficial. Super
Yeah.
beneficial.
You can feel it sometimes when the beat is dropping. I
Yeah.
have students like they don't want to count and they feel the one, and I was like, how you feel it because you're not counting. No, no, but the voice is raising and then is dropping, so that's the first beat that drops. And it's true because the song is making you grow, and the first beat is always strong. So and boom, and then you go
Yeah.
and boom. It's like a phrase. When you talk, you talk in phrases. It's like if you see the phrase in like count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You use signs, and it's the same with music. Di-di-di-di-di-di-di-di-dim, di-di-di-di-di-di-di-dim, di-di-di-di-di-di-di-dim. So
I
it's
like
the same thing.
I like it. Um, you said you were a musician. You played piano. Is that correct?
Yes,
Mm.
12 years of piano.
Okay,
But
that's
not
impressive.
anymore. I have big nails, so I
Uh,
can only if I play like this.
But I mean that is a skill that you never forget, correct?
Yes.
Amazing,
Yeah.
amazing. That's
Makes
amazing.
you, because of piano, it's the biggest instrument that makes you think two or three things in the same time. You can do like talking with somebody, writing to another person, and one more thing. Makes
Mm,
me feel multitasking.
mm. I tried learning piano, but it is so difficult to have the left hand and the right hand do two different things. How crazy is that you could do that? It's super impressive.
Yes, yeah. With small steps, you can do anything you want in life. Only you have to want it, no?
I like that. I really like that. Um, Miss Jojo, at this point, I really want to thank you so much for taking time out today to talk to me.
Thank you also. And happy birthday
Hey,
again.
hey, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Let me ask you this real quick. I know times are kind of crazy right now, but I'm very curious to know, do you have any upcoming events, anything that you want to share with the people before we close this out?
Yes, I will make online classes soon. And I have project for ladies only for the moment, but I will have for pairs also. But I have like already 13 like videos with my ladies after the class that makes not only on dancing because people are shy. I want to make them more confident, and sometimes I break the rules. Like I dance Kizomba, but I will break some rules with heels. I don't know if you know heels dancing,
Mm-hmm.
and make them more comfortable with themselves and to not be so shy because all my ladies I always say we do a video in front of a camera and say yay and almost like hiding and I said what's wrong with you. We need to do something about that. So after a lot of projects I've seen the evolution of the person, and I think this will be a plan that I will apply in online also for all the ladies that want to find themselves, to get more confident, and also to have fun dancing with Kizomba or other sides, a program only for them. Because sometimes you guys makes us uncomfortable, so that's why we dance alone.
And I definitely understand that. Tell me this real quick, last thing. How can people reach out to you? How can they get in contact with you?
They can find me on Instagram, Jojo Moldovan, or on my YouTube channel, Duku and Jojo, or Jojo Moldovan on Facebook. I think Jojo Moldovan on everywhere. You can find me.
Absolutely amazing. Like I said, Jojo, I want to thank you so much. Do you have any last words you want to say before we close this episode out?
uh, yes. I want to all the people that are watching, uh, just try to take only the good things you like and the bad things you don't like, put it away. So try to make your life beautiful with little things, but things that matter to you. And start dancing as soon as possible.
I love it. I love it. I think this is a great way to wrap up this episode of the Two Left Feet podcast. Thank you so much, Jojo.
Thank you so much, also.
Take it easy.
Bye.
Ciao.